Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we took on the Florida Panthers in the first round of playoffs, and we managed to upset them in 5 games and move ourselves onto the second round against a team that we've also played a lot in the playoffs, that being the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we're obviously looking to cheese ourselves to another conference finals appearance. Obviously, it's going to be a tough task because Tampa, again, another team that finished above us in the standings. However, we did knock out Florida, so anything is pretty much possible. But here's a little recap of the Florida series. As you can see, we took game 1 4-3 in overtime. Then we lost 3-1, but had 3 straight great games afterwards. 2-1 win there, 4-1 win there. So some great goaltending from Zadorov. And then we won 5-4 in the series clinching game. And then also now we're playing Tampa, who also won in 5 games in the first round. So this is going to be an interesting second round matchup. Definitely a tough task for our team, I'd say, but once again, we're riding that momentum still from last year's playoffs and winning that Stanley Cup, and who knows what our team could do en route to maybe another conference finals appearance. I think last year, actually, I was saying that, last year we played Washington in the conference finals, I think it was, so we might have a rematch of that, depending on who ends up getting to that third round. And then there is a look at the West currently at the moment. But let me show you guys what Tampa is rocking basically for the roster, and then we'll get into your guys' comments. And we'll basically see if we could actually get to the conference finals for the second consecutive season, and if this team actually still has another cup run potentially in them. So here's a look at Tampa. As you can see, FPZ is still there, obviously, but he has been dropping off quite a bit over the last few years. This might be one of his last years in his NHL career. Who knows? Maybe next season would be, which is the final season anyways. Then they also still have Craig Frazier. They added also a couple new faces, I think, like Jay Cooperman, I'm pretty sure is new. But yeah, they definitely changed up the roster a little bit, but also a lot of the guys are pretty much the same. What's good about their offensive core, though, even though it has like... Oh my goodness. What's good about their offensive core, though, is that they really don't have any certain weakness, I would say, with their roster. Like, they don't have any 70 overall, 79 overall guys in their lineup. Everybody's an 80 plus, so their offense is definitely still pretty strong, even with FPZ dropping off so much. And then from a defensive standpoint, this top 2 pairing has been together for a couple of years now, and it's a damn pretty good pairing. Their defensive core could definitely use a little bit of work, so that's maybe where we can maybe take advantage of them, is that they don't have the best top 6 pairing of Majewski and Rammer, but you never know, these type of guys could sometimes simulate well in a thing. They're both a right-handed demon as well, so who knows, maybe they'll make some mistakes considering they're both the exact same handedness. Goaltending-wise, they do have 2 good goaltending nodes to back up that weaker defensive core, I would say. And there is their depth options as well. So should be an interesting second round to see who gets to that third round. Hopefully it's us again, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going, because obviously if we could get to another conference finals this year, we're just extending this second last season, and then obviously next season is our final season, and that will be pretty devastating when we get to the actual end of the series first and foremost. But anyways, before we get into the second round matchup, let's get into your guys' comments now and see what you guys have to say about our first round victory against the Florida Panthers. So the first comment is from Sanro Otaku, who says the cheese keeps rolling, and yes, it does. It's basically a wheel of cheese that's just rolling around, or it's maybe a good charcuterie board of cheese that's just, there's all these different types of cheese, and we're basically right now maybe on the Parmesan cheese, but we still got some cheddar, we got some Old Fort cheese, we got all the types of cheese that you could believe, and we're just going through that charcuterie board, and basically each charcuterie board is another team we're knocking out, or each part of the charcuterie board is another team that we're knocking out. I don't even know exactly, but that's just my random ass thing that I'd have to say this morning. I'm half asleep, so don't blame me on that front. The next comment is from Michael Dos, who says Zadorov is a spectacular playoff goalie. Let that cheese keep coming, and I totally agree. Zadorov has been an absolute animal in his career in the playoffs. He's been definitely a very useful player. I think without him, if we didn't draft him, our team would be in definitely a way different state, but he has been a very good playoff goalie. As you can see, regular season wise, he's been pretty solid, but not like the best goalie in the world. But playoff wise, he's got a .921 save percentage with a 19-4-3 record through 27 games. This guy's never lost more than 2 regulation games in a playoff run before, so we'll see if he continues on that trajectory. If he does, this guy might be one of the best playoff goalies I've ever had. And the last comment is from Joseph D. Evan Miller, who says epic goalkeeping. So yeah, once again, Zadorov has been amazing. Also, Mauricio McKenzie was actually pretty good in that first round too. He also got to play a little bit of games. As you can see, he had a 945 save percentage through 2 games. So both goaltenders doing really well, which is nice to see considering both goalies did really well a few years ago as well when we still had Mateo Burkov. And for Mauricio McKenzie to be that good this early on is very, very nice. Now, one thing that is going to be a little bit problematic here, as you can see, our defensive core has 2 injuries at the moment. Mauricio Booz will not return until next game, I think it is. And then Marty Cardwell is also currently out with an injury. So our defensive core is not looking as strong as it was in last episode. So we're definitely going to have to make do with what we have. But this is definitely a very cheesy defensive core at the moment. And obviously once Cardwell and Booz return, we will be back to our full defensive core, which should do hypothetically a lot better simulation-wise. But then again, with the good goaltending, who knows, maybe we don't really need to necessarily have those guys in the lineup. But Cardwell obviously was a very key piece to our team's defensive structure. He helped us win 2 of those games drastically, I'd say, because I think he got injured at the end of, he basically got injured at the end of this game, I think it was. So I think he missed this last game, and obviously you could see that we allowed 4 goals in that game. However, the games that we did have him in the lineup, we only allowed 1 goal and 1 goal here. Obviously we allowed 3 there, and we allowed 3 there, but still, without him in the lineup, we allowed more goals than beforehand. So we definitely need to make sure that we play good defensively even without Mr. Cardwell in the lineup, because Cardwell's just like, he's kind of like our rock back there. He also helps out with the offense, so he's a very useful player. Also, I just actually realized this game is supposed to take place on April 25th in 2047, which would technically be my 51st birthday. So hopefully we could get a good start here on the road in Tampa Bay and maybe get some wins on the road to set ourselves up for future success going forward, because obviously we're not going to have home ice advantage for a lot of the playoffs because we are a lower seeded team. But anyways, let's get into game number 1 in Tampa, see if we could get a win on the road here. And yeah, just continue to tease teams, continue to do what we've been doing the last year and a little bit in these playoffs. So here we go, game 1 in Tampa. Who's going to be the first team to lose their second game of the playoffs? First period of game 1. 2-0 us. Great start. Lehman and Raymond. That's a really good start for our team. Love to see it. Good from the captain. Both goals were in the final 3 minutes of the period too. We outshot them 14-6. So we pretty much dominated that opening period, which is great to see, because obviously I'd like to see that offense going, especially when the goaltending is so good. If we could score a good amount of goals early on, and then Zadorov could just lock out the door, we basically should be good. But hopefully Zadorov continues to do what he did in the first round, and obviously in last year's playoffs as well. So Lehman and Chucky, who is going to be the team to score in this period? Because basically there's a couple scenarios that I think of always when you go up 2-0 after 1. One scenario is you add more goals to your team and your team scores more goals and obviously goes in to win the game in the third period. Or there's the second period where the other team's going to score 2 goals and start clawing back into this game and potentially win it. So I'm hoping that we have a good second period here as well, good defensive effort if possible, and also maybe add some more insurance because we know Tampa has that offensive capability. Second period, 2-1. That's another one of those scenarios that they could start clawing back into the game as Moss scores on Zadorov. Shots are 24-15, so we're still out shooting by quite a bit, but only up by a goal. So obviously it would be nice to get an insurance marker in the third period if we can. But once again, Zadorov, hopefully he could just lock it down for our team defensively, and then maybe our offense could find a way to score a little bit more because of that. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we can get an insurance marker, because that's all I'm looking for here, and some good saves in net. There we go, Hamline, and that's the insurance marker I wanted. That's exactly it. And we get another one too from Chucky, his second of the night. Chucky's been much better here in the playoffs tonight. I'd say his regular season totals so far, but we're up 4-1, final few minutes. And another great goaltending effort from Zadorov. We win 4-1 in game 1, outshooting them 40-26. That's exactly what I would like to see. Good job, Cheese. Good job indeed. That's a great first game. Great defense, great goaltending, and solid offense as well. So we had Lehman from Kavanagh, Raymond from Boucher, and Hamalainen. Hamalainen from Boucher and Raymond, and Raymond from Boucher and Hamalainen. So that line of Hamalainen, Boucher, and Raymond, all with 3 points, which is great. Love to see certain lines step up like that. So Chucky, Hamalainen, and Boucher, perfect. Yeah, it's really good to see. Goaltending wise, you can see Zadorov with a 962, so Zadorov just continues to be that type of goaltender in the playoffs. I feel like sooner or later, though, he's going to have one of those like games where he doesn't play super good, but he's been really consistent so far. So Raymond the first star, Hamline the second star, and Boucher the third star. Great start on the road. If we could take both games in Tampa, that would be even better, but obviously taking one in Tampa is already a very good way to start it off, as Marty Cardwell has returned to the lineup, and I think Booze as well is. So we are going to have to send back down Burish, who was the guy that we called up with the injuries. And I think we're going to have to basically put both of our defenders back in the lineup maybe, because I think they're both back to full health, which is nice. So that means Ramo would go back down to the top 6. I think it was... Who played the least amount of games of these guys? Just got to see. Oh, it's Mangone, right? No, it's not Mangone. Who was the guy that played the least amount of games this year in the playoffs? I thought one of these guys would have got scratched. I know this is normally Cardwell's spot, so we'll throw Cardwell in there. Fragapane by Booze. There we go. Cardwell's actually not back to full health technically. Huh. Do I leave him out for one more game? I thought he recovered though. I'm going to put Fragapane in there just for the time being. But, let's see. I don't know why it says there's an error on a line. Oh, extra attacker. I will give that to, let's go with Chucky as the extra attacker here. I don't really care about the shootout lineup at all, because obviously we're not going to be going to a shootout in the playoffs, so I don't know why I have to address that in the playoffs. Let me just go back here for a second. Let's just go best AHL lines. Because the AHL team, I think, isn't even in the playoffs. What do you mean we have invalid lines? Oh, shootout still. I literally just addressed the shootout. What are you talking about? Oh, must have been somebody that was already in the shootout. Is Del Rivera on the shootout? He is not. Let's just put RDR, because I don't really care, because it's just regular season stuff. So, boom. There we go. Okay, now now Cardwell's back to full health. Okay. So it was in between games that he was still not fully healthy, but now we could actually throw him in without the injuries piling up potentially. So Cardwell back in. Let's go back to the power play here. Does Cardwell need to be on the power play? He already is. Perfect. Okay. So our defensive core is back to full health, which it hasn't been in a while because Mauricio Booze has not played a single playoff game, and Marty Cardwell has returned after missing the last 2 games. So that is very nice, because obviously that will make us maybe even a better defensive team in front of Zadorov, even though we just had a very good defensive game 1. Okay, let's get to game 2. Let's keep the team the exact same. That was a textbook first game. Let's see if we can continue to cheese opponents and win another road game. And then obviously who knows what we could do on home ice. So here we go. First period of game 2. Let's see what Zadorov and the team could do. First period. 1-0 Tampa. That's not terrible. We did outshoot them 15-7, so we are getting our chances, which is good. So eventually we should be able to break through, unless their goaltending has found itself in this game. But 1 goal on 7 shots for Zadorov isn't characteristic of him. I think he'll have a good bounce back second period, but like I said, this might be one of those type of games, though, where he eventually doesn't play good, because at some stage, even if you play good goaltending-wise, you're going to have a game where you don't play good goaltending-wise. It's just, you're never going to be that consistent where you're good every single game, at least in my opinion. So, but we'll see if our team can get back into this game in the second period. Since we're out shooting them, there's a chance that maybe we could find a way to crack this game into a tie. Let's see what happens in the second period. Second period? 2-1. Okay, that's still the exact same type of outcome. Boucher did tie it up early for us, but then Moss scores a late goal again. So Moss has definitely been Tampa's best player here early on, which is kind of surprising. Shots are 27-18 in favor of us, but we're still down by a goal. So looks like Legacy's having himself a very good game. Zadorov is still playing, I would say, solid, because he's made 16 saves, but obviously we prefer a little bit better, but obviously our offense needs to be scoring on those chances too. So we technically could be winning this game at this stage if our offense would be a little bit more, I wouldn't say consistent, but a little bit better in terms of scoring on their opportunities. Let's see what happens in the third period, see if we can find a way to tie this game up and potentially maybe take it to overtime or even just win it in the third period in general. Come on, boys. Let's get this win. I know we already have a win on the road, but it would be nice to get that second one as well. Penalty kill. Nice job, penalty killers. Nice job. Do we have a goal in us to tie this one up? No, we do not, probably. Jeffrey makes it 3-1. That's probably going to be it, right? That's unfortunate because we did definitely play good in this game. And, yep, they have a good response to us. So we win 4-1 in Game 1. They win 3-1 in Game 2. So this is going to be a goaltending showdown, I think, at this rate. Final shots were 36-28, but we only scored the 1 goal in it. So, unfortunately, not the best effort from Zadorov in that one, but he didn't play terrible, I would say. I just needed our offense to start scoring more on our shots. And the only goal was Boucher from Raymond and Hamalainen. So those guys have 4 points in 2 games. Nobody else has picked up a point. Or no, there has been actually some other guys have picked up a point, but not that much from other lines. So we need other lines to start clicking as well, if possible. And yeah, Zadorov definitely had his roughest game yet. And yeah, Moss has been definitely Tampa's best offensive player at this stage. I'm glad we took a game in Tampa at least, but still, it would have been nice to take that second one. But obviously now we have a chance to take both these games on home ice, which would set us up for a good spot. But then again, Tampa could take both of our games too. So let me go here to edit lines for a second and see if we could find a way to get these other lines going. Because it's been our top line actually that's been going well. What do we want to do here? What was it? Let's see who's scratched at the moment. None of those guys need to be in the lineup here. Let's see the stat lines. Ooh, RDR's been terrible. I'm gonna put Lehman down the middle because Lehman does still have good face-offs. So we'll put Lehman down the middle on that second line. RDR is gonna go down to the third line to play with Erat and Booze, and maybe that will help us out a little bit. And in the defensive core, let's just go something like, I don't think there's really anything I could do to get Ramo up there at all, which kind of sucks. Because I really want to get Ramo more ice time, but I can't. And let's just keep going with this, I guess. Defensively, and then goaltending-wise, obviously that's going to stay the same for now. But, yeah, there you go. So it's a little change. Lehman getting a chance to play center instead just because I think he deserves it. He's definitely been playing better than RDR has. RDR is just going to stay there on that fourth line, so... Or Reese's Pieces, or whatever you guys called them before. I call him RDR just because, what is it? Kristen De La Rivera of the Ottawa PWHL team, I think her nickname is KDR, so that's why I just say RDR, which sounds weird as shit, but it almost sounds like something a pirate would say or a raider would say. That's kind of fun. Anyway, so let's get into Game 3 and see if we could have a good response and find our offensive game. Obviously, we had chances last game, but we didn't convert, so it would be nice to start converting in this next game. So here we go, Game 3 on home ice. Can we use it to our advantage? First period. Scoreless, that's not great. We have barely scored in the last while since Game 1. I'm kind of feeling like we might not score a lot in these next few games either. Like, their goaltender's definitely found his game quite a bit. We have only scored 1 goal in the last 4 periods of hockey, so definitely need to find a way to score more goals. Shots are 12-11 in favor of Tampa, but nobody has scored so far, so at least our goaltending is keeping us in it to give us a chance to find those offensive goals. Can we find them in the second period? Second period? Still scoreless. Okay, we have 27 shots on goal to 17. Once again, we're out shooting them drastically, but we cannot find a way to score goals on Legacy, it seems like, at the moment. Legacy is leaving his legacy behind. Or not leaving it behind. He's like putting it in the forefront, I should say. Shots are 27-17 in favor of us. We're down. We're not down, but we might be down shortly because I feel like we're getting kind of cheesed in a sense because we're outplaying them, but they're still able to find ways to win. But if Zadorov has a strong third period here and our team finally finds a way to score on one of these shots, then we might be in business. So here we go. This is, like I said, a goaltending duo, our duel. Who wants to be the guy in the third period to get us that lead? We know that that one line's been doing good for us, that top line, but is there other lines that want to help contribute to a victory? Let's see what happens. See if we could get that first goal of the night. Maybe RDR has a goal in him. That would be nice because he has not been doing much here in this playoffs. Penalty kill. And they score a power play goal from Frazier. Of course they do. Damn it, man. We might get cheesed with goals against in these last few games. Come on, guys. Please answer. Damn, we lose 1-0. We've only scored 1 goal in our last 6 periods of hockey. We're going to make some offensive adjustments. That one's definitely not on Zadorov again, but it's definitely on our offense for not finding itself. That's where we get a little bit problematic. We do have definitely good goaltending, but we obviously, if we don't get our offense going, we're in a very bad spot. And yeah, Legacy's been locked in these last 2 games, which makes me feel like he's going to have 4 straight good games. So I am going to have to make some adjustments here for these next games because we need to find our offensive level again. Like, we scored 4 goals in game 1, but since then we've only scored 1 more goal. So it's kind of giving me flashbacks of like when we got reverse swept by them and we barely scored any goals over those last few games. So let's go to edit lines here and see what we could do to potentially spark the offense. I think what we're going to do is split up the great line of Raymond, Boucher, and Hämäläinen just to see if that helps out anything. We'll go with Jacobson, Boucher, Raymond. Hämäläinen's going to be playing with Ozens, and let's go with Erat. And then it's going to be a Lehman, Del Rivera, and Booze. We'll go with, actually, Booze is a third-line scoring forward. Has he done much? No, he hasn't. We're going to go with Richter, Lehman, and Del Rivera, and then we'll go with Booze as a winger, I guess. Yeah, because Colborne will be down the middle. So we'll run something like this to change things up a little bit. We'll go with Kavanagh with Cardwell, Booze with Cracknell, Mangone, and Ramo. Maybe I could take Mangone out for the other guy, Fragapane. That might not be a bad option. Let's see. Let's see what Fragapane's looking like on this defensive pairing. It looks fine. Okay. Let's go with that actually then. Yeah, we'll go with this as our defensive core. So Mangone's going to get scratched to just change things up. We haven't been bad defensively, but might as well change something. Zadorov's rocking a 938, but our offense hasn't been able to score recently, and that's our main problem. So, yeah, we're going to go with this. Erat's going to get a big opportunity between 2 really good passers, so that's why I'm kind of hoping that maybe he could get something going. I don't think Ozens could take face-offs, no. I was going to think maybe put a playmaker down the middle, but we're going to just run with that. We'll see what Erat could do. He hasn't done much here in the playoffs so far, but we need to change up that forward group a bit to see if we could find a way to start scoring more goals. Because if we lose this game, obviously, then Tampa has a chance to win the series on home ice for them. So we need to win this game, and then it might be a best of 3. I feel like this is the type of series that could be similar to the Florida series that we had when we won the Stanley Cup or went to Game 7. So if we win this game, I could definitely see it going to a 7th game. But here we go. This is a huge game for us. Can we find our offense? It has been non-existent the last 2 games. Can we win here? And potentially still have a chance to go to the conference finals. Come on, guys. First period of Game 4. 3 to us. Okay, well, they scored 2 goals first, which I don't really like. However, we do answer back with 3 unanswered goals. So we've already scored more goals in this game than we did in the last 2 games combined. So Frazier and FPZ for them, of course. Jennings, Del Rivera, and Ozens for us. So 2 power play goals. That's great to see the power play clicking and also a 4th line goal. Kind of funny seeing FPZ score in a game like this because we have not seen him score yet in this series. But shots are 12-12. It's a 3-2 game. So both goaltenders, even though they've been playing good the last few games, didn't have the best first period. Let's see if we can add some insurance in the second period because obviously we know Tampa still has that offensive capability. Second period, 4-3 for us. They tied it up, Frazier again, but Hämäläinen restores the lead. We're up by only a goal going into the third. Shots are 24-20, so not the best goaltending effort for both goalies for sure. It's been an offensive show in this one, which is something that I was not really expecting. It's going to be interesting to see if we can hold them off in the third period, because if we could hold them off, like I said, it could be a series that goes to 7 games. We lose this one somehow, and I don't know if we're going to be able to muster a comeback unless we decide to start being that cheese team. I haven't mentioned cheese in a while, so maybe I just need to mention cheese a couple times. Let's say cheddar cheese. What else do we want to say? String cheese. I don't know exactly what else. Maybe processed cheese, even though that's disgusting as shit. I guess that's almost like friggin' rubber. What about Kraft dinner with cheese? I don't like Kraft dinner, but still. Let's just say all the cheese. Cheesy pizza too, deep dish pizza. Let's see what happens in this third period. See if we could get some insurance and lock this game down. Come on, Zadorov, have a good period for me, buddy. Let's go, Colborne. That's another fourth line goal. That's a big goal from Colborne. Kind of crazy that our fourth line's been able to score some goals in this one. Richter, a power play goal. That's our third power play goal of the night. So the special team's making a difference here in this one. And we're a final few minutes away. We're going to be tying the series up, headed back to Tampa, as it's a 2-2 series. Let's go. That's a great response. 6 goals on 43 shots. That's what I was kind of hoping for when we had a lot of shots in the last 2 games, but we obviously didn't score anything. They scored 3 goals on 25 shots, so not the best effort from Zadorov once again, but once again, our offense was able to find itself this time around, and that was the difference maker. So Jennings from Booz and Cardwell, Del Rivera from Boucher, Ozens from Cardwell, Hamalainen from Erat, Colborne from Booz, and Richter from Colborne. A lot of different lines contributing in that victory as well. A couple guys on 2 points, Cardwell, Booz, and Colborne. A lot of guys on 1 point as well. And like I said, we had 3 power play goals in that game, so that definitely helped out quite a bit. 3 stars of the game, Frazier for them, FPZ was the 2nd star, and Colborne the 3rd star. So FPZ tried his best against his former team, but obviously couldn't get it done. And now we're going to have a tie series. We've won a game in Tampa before, so it would be nice to win another. Whoever wins this game, though, will have a chance to close out the other team on our home ice, which is interesting. So I still think this could go to 7 games, but obviously if we win this game, it would be very nice to win the series in front of our home fans if possible. Every other series is also tied at 2 right now, so nobody has been running away with their series so far. I think we're going to keep the team the exact same. Even though Zadorov has been kind of struggling these last few games, I think he'll find himself again because he's that type of goalie that he's going to be really good at some stages, not so much at the others. Like if we take a look at his stats, he was at a 938 before. He's dropped down to a 932, which is still fantastic. Obviously, I could go to Mauricio McKenzie, but I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's worth it at this stage. Mauricio McKenzie could come in if he gets yanked in a game, but not right now. Not at this stage. I'd rather go with the guy that's got the more experience factor at this stage. So, anyways, let's keep the team the exact same. We just came off a 6-3 win. We're both 6-3 in the playoffs as well, which is kind of funny. And we're headed into Game 5. Whoever wins this takes the series lead. Let's see if we can do it here. Come on, guys. Let's get that series lead back, and then hopefully we can close them out on home ice. That would be fantastic if we could do that. First period of Game 5. Scoreless. Back to the defensive style, okay? This has been a really weird series so far. A couple really good defensive games for both teams, and then also a couple huge offensive games. Well, this last one at least was. That first period was definitely a lot quieter than last game. Shots are 11-10 in favor of Tampa, but nobody has scored so far. So here is a big second period coming up. Whoever wants to take that lead, it is there for the taking. Who will be the one to do it? Maybe nobody will yet. Let's see what happens in the second period. Second period. 1-1. Okay, I'll take it. They did score first again, Arvidsson. However, Ozens answers back not too much longer. So it's been pretty much tied to the entire game. Shots are 23-22 in favor of Tampa. So shots are even, goals are even pretty much. It's literally going to come down to which goalie is better, I think, in this one. And who breaks first, pretty much. Let's see what happens in this third period. See if we can get that lead. Or are we going to go back into a defensive mode where we're not going to score a lot like the games that we've lost earlier in? Or are we going to start finding ourselves defensively and get maybe a lot of offense going in this third period? Who knows? Let's see what happens. Come on, guys. Zadorov just played good for me in this third period, and hopefully the offense could score for us. Peltola gives Tampa the lead. That's not ideal. That is not ideal at all. Power play for us. Come on, guys. We don't score on a penalty kill. Nicely done. Power play for us. Again, we do not score on it. Our power play was good last game, but it has not done anything here in this game. Final few minutes. Come on, boys. Please get one more goal. Get it to OT? No, we lose 2-1 as we have gone back to our defensive style where we do not score any goals, really. So we had an explosion in offense last game, but not so much in this one. We get outshot 37-33, and we only lose by 1 goal. That's not on Zadorov at all. That's our offense, again, just not finding a way to be consistent enough. Ozens from Cardwell and Hamalainen is the only goal. Yeah, Zadorov was much better in that game, but our offense just did not find itself like last game. And now Tampa has a chance to knock us out. We need to win 2 straight games to go to the conference finals. The defending cup champions are on the brink of elimination. Just like that. Let's go to edit lines and see if we could find a way to maybe get our team better here. Let's see plus minus factors here. Nobody's really minus on our 4 group, which is interesting. Oh, that top 6 pairing of Cracknell and Booze has not been good. We're gonna go. Oh, wait, actually, is that not a minus? Okay, that's not a minus. Normally, there's always a minus with Ramo moving up, but Ramo's gonna move with Booze, and we're gonna have Fragapane and Cracknell, I think, together. Unless I want to take Fragapane back out for Mangone. Fragapane's a +5 though. He's been great. Cracknell's definitely been the worst of the bunch, so I'm gonna take Cracknell out and get Mangone back in. Yeah, that's what we're going to run with. Since Fragapane's more offensively minded, he's going to be on the right side. And obviously, goaltending is going to stay the same. But we need to find a way this offense is going. Erat jumped up to an 83 after that one game. What the heck? That's kind of weird. He has not been playing good at all here in the playoffs, so this might be the last NHL game also for Alan Lehman. We didn't even think of that. It probably is the last NHL game if we get eliminated here for him. He's only got the 3 goals and an assist here in the playoffs. Man. Trying to think if there's anything I want to do here to try and get this going a little tiny bit more. Let's go back to the other top line again. And we're going to keep Erat as the second line center. I'm going to go back to Lehman down the middle instead of Richter. And Del Rivera and Richter could change sides. Yeah, we just got to find a way to be consistent offensively, because right now the offense has been inconsistent. The goaltending has also been a little bit inconsistent, but also Zadorov has been really good after like losing, it seems like. So hopefully he can play better than he did in that 6-3 win we had earlier. That 2-1 loss and that 1-0 loss, like he kept us in it for sure. So we could have won those games, but our offense didn't find itself. So we need our offense to step up here in this game and win on home ice to force a Game 7. Can we do it? Let's get into this. Waste no time. See if we could force a Game 7 back in Tampa, where anything could happen, and one of those teams could go to a Cup Finals. Or is Tampa going to knock us out here and go to the Conference Finals and get redemption on us for all those playoffs that we actually beat against them? Technically, they also reverse swept us at one point, though, which I don't want to even think about. But let's see what happens here. Real-time simulation. This might be Lehman's last NHL game. Let's see if we could force a Game 7. They do score first, not ideal. Cooperman. Not a good way to start it off, letting them score first, boys. But we do have an answer on the power play. Good to see our power play score and another goal right afterwards. So Jacobson power play goal and in boost access to lead. That's a good response. Good to see our offense step up after last game. It was quiet. Booze again. I don't know if that's Mauricio or Manny, but if it's Mauricio, the defenseman, that would be crazy. Great first period, 3 goals on 12 shots, and after allowing early goals, Zadorov has been pretty good. So we just obviously got to keep playing good defensively the rest of this game and just keep them off the score sheet. We could add some insurance if need be. But here's a big second period coming up. Let's have a good second period defensively, boys, and just keep this lead intact. Ramo makes it 4-1. Boucher 5-1. I feel like we're not going to score anything in Game 7, though, because we had a really good offensive game where we won 6-3 earlier, but then afterwards we only scored 1 goal. So it's still very inconsistent, the offense, but who knows? Maybe we could cheese the opponent and get to a Game 7 and then all of a sudden keep playing like this. Very good game so far from the team. 5 goals on 28 shots. We've only allowed 1 on 19, so Zadorov hasn't seen a lot of action, and we've been throwing a lot of shots on Legacy. Let's just lock this game down in the third period and force a Game 7 back in Tampa, where who knows what could happen at that point. Hopefully it's us winning in Game 7 again, just like last year against Florida. We're getting a lot of power play opportunities too, so maybe the refs are on our side a bit in this game. Who knows? Final few minutes, another power play, and we get another goal, this one from RDR. So our power play has been great against Tampa here in the last few games, and we win 6-1, and we have forced a Game 7. We outshot them 42-25. We also had a ton of power plays. Like, I don't know how much power plays we had, but damn, that was a lot. Seemed like at least in the third period. So Jacobson from Ozens and Cardwell. Booze from Jennings. The other Booze from Ozens and Jacobson. So it was both Booze with a goal. Ramo from Boucher and Raymond. Boucher from Hamalainen and Raymond. Del Rivera from Boucher and Hamalainen. Seems like Boucher, Hamalainen, and Raymond always work really well together, so we should probably just keep them together at this point. Let's take a look at the stat lines. Boucher 3 points, Hamalainen, Raymond, Ozens, and Jacobson with 2. Bunch of guys on 1 point. And we also had Booze and Ramo as a +4, so that second pairing was fantastic. Great to see that. And then another nice effort from Zadorov, a 960 save percentage. 3 stars of the game, Boucher, Zadorov, and Jacobson. Nice. Okay, well, we have forced a game 7. We've been a little bit inconsistent with the offensive effort. As you can see, like, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster this series. 4-1 win, 3-1 loss, 1-0 loss, 6-3 win, 2-1 loss, 6-1 win. Who knows what happens in game 7? Is it another game where we play bad offensively, or are we going to actually find that consistency? As we have scored technically 6 goals in 2 of our last 3 games. So who knows, maybe our offense is going to start heating up here going into game 7. Oh boy. Hopefully we could get ourselves to that conference finals again. All teams, or all series, are going to a game 7 except for the Vegas Golden Knights, who just knocked out the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I think we're going to keep the team the exact same for this next game. I think we are, because the offense was much better again. And then the goaltending effort obviously has been very consistent here for the most part. Yeah, I think we're going to go with that. We addressed the problem, which was Cracknell. Fragapane, Mangone is much better defensively. And then Ramo and Booze had a great game last game. Cardwell and Kavanagh have been pretty good too. So, yeah, we got to keep the team the same defensively. The offense was much better than that last game too. Can we win in Game 7 again in the second round? Last year we did it to the Florida Panthers. This time we look to do it to Tampa and get ourselves to that conference finals for the second consecutive year. Can we do it? Can we keep the cheese alive? Or are we going to be ending the season and going into our final off season in next episode? Come on, boys. You do this. We got this. If we win this game, Lehman's career extends. If it doesn't, there's a good chance Lehman retires. So let's see what happens. Let's find that offensive consistency and keep it going into Game 7. We had 6 goals last game. I don't say score 6 goals this game, but just find a couple more goals than you're used to when you only score like 1 goal. Let's see what happens here. Game 7 in Tampa. Looking to keep the cheese alive. Well, let's go, cheese. All of the cheese in the world. The fromage. Come on, boys. You got this. Power play for us. We do not score on that power play. Our power play has been good the last little while. We do score a little bit afterwards, Hamalainen, but they answer back from Arvidsson less than a minute later. That's not ideal. I mean, it's nice that we scored first, but also the fact that they were able to answer right back isn't. Shots are 17-12 for us after 1, so their goaltending has been definitely playing a lot better in this game so far. Zadorov also has been pretty solid, so maybe we could go back to another more defensively minded game, which kind of falls more into Tampa's lap, which is not great. So I'm hoping that our team could just play good defensively for the full game, and our offense could find itself kind of like it did last game. Because obviously that third period last game, we were really solid. That second period last game, we were solid. So if we could find more goals, that would be very, very helpful. Let's see what happens in the second period. This is crucial to this series. Penalty kill in the second. Early on, we killed it off. And then they get a goal from Malachi Hughes, I think his name is. 2-1 Tampa. That's not ideal. Penalty kill. Nicely done, penalty killers. Do we have an answer, please? Come on, Chucky, or somebody on this team. Come on, guys. You got to find that offensive consistency. I know you have another one in you. I know you do. And we're down 2-1 going into the third. We're playing, like I said, right into Tampa's lap with these defensive games. It seems like their goaltending has been very inconsistent too, where they have a couple of really good defensive games, but also some very bad ones. But right now, this is another good goaltending effort from their goaltender. And that's not great. We need to have a strong third period here, or else the cheese will come to an end here. If we somehow find a way to win this, though, we go to the next round. Who wants to be the guy to step it up for us? We need somebody to step it up for us. Maybe we'll call him Lehman, since this might be his last career game. Let's see what happens in this third period. See if we can find a way to tie this game up here early in the third. Frazier makes it 3-1 Tampa. That's not ideal, boys. Power play for us. We do not score on it. Damn it, man. We're not finding that consistency in the offensive zone here. We're down by still a pair of goals. We are going to intervene even though we're down by 2 goals. I just want to see Lehman out there for maybe one last time. But are you kidding me? This is not great. It looks like we're going to be getting eliminated in Game 7 unless our team's able to score 2 goals when we watch this game, which I don't think is going to happen, but you never really know what could happen with these games. Let's intervene and just watch. I know it sucks to see us probably getting eliminated, but it will be interesting to just see a couple more guys out there on the ice at least to get some screenshots of, because this is the second last season in this franchise mode. We got 4 minutes to get 2 goals. It's doable. Let's see if our team can find a way to rally here. We've had a bad offensive effort again in this one. It's just been too inconsistent. Like, it's not on Zadorov at all. It's on our offense for just like scoring 6 goals in a game and then going quiet the next game, basically. Come on, guys. Get it in there. Boucher takes a penalty. Come on, man. You got to be more disciplined, especially at this stage. Well, we're definitely losing this game because we're going to have to kill off a penalty for the rest of the game, it looks like, at this stage. And FPZ just about won and it scored on us, of course. Ugh. That's not the play there, Bernard. At least we won the Stanley Cup last year, because if we didn't win the Cup last year, this would be even more painful than it is. It's not really that painful at all now if we lose in the playoffs, but obviously it would have been nice to keep the cheese alive a little bit longer. But Tampa's a good team, and they definitely deserve to get as far as they have so far. Their goaltending has been a bit inconsistent, but they've been pretty good in terms of good defensive games as well at stages. So, come on, guys. Just get a shorthanded goal somehow. I know we technically have to kill this penalty off for almost the rest of the game, but it gives us a lot of slow time to potentially get back into it too. Because that means I think the rest of this time is going to be almost like a full 2 minutes. So, let's see if we can find a way to get that next goal somehow still. We got to get them off the puck though, because they have the power play and they're getting pressure. But Zadorov is eating up the pucks like he always does. He was once again really good in this playoffs, but unfortunately for him, the team in front of him just found no consistency. Because to me, Zadorov could have won the Conn Smythe last year, and this year so far he's been very, very good. So he's definitely one of the better playoff goalies I think I've had in a franchise mode. Okay, we have a shorthanded chance maybe here. Yep, now we have one. Erat. Erat holds on to it. Erat still with it. Almost found Lehman, but he gets slashed. We have 4-on-4 for a chunk of the rest of the game. Or the rest of the game, pretty much. Malachi Hughes going to the box. Who knows? 4-on-4, you can do anything. But obviously we will have to probably pull our goaltender at some point. But Malachi Hughes slashed Alan Lehman in potentially his last game. Maybe broke his hand, but Lehman's still going to play through it. Let's see if we can find a way to score here. We got Colborne out there with Ozens. Not the best combination, but still. Ozens with it. Throws it to Booze. Booze to Mangone with a clap bomb. It bounces off a couple bodies and doesn't get through. The only thing with it being 4-on-4 is it's going to go to fast time again. Cooperman walks in. Big save there by Zadorov. We're into the final 30 seconds almost of this game and the series against the Lightning. Unless we could find a way to score some goals here, which we're not able to even generate any offense so far. We do have an empty net, and they're trying to go for a goal here on the 4-on-4. And now we have a power play for a brief bit. I don't know for how long. Bernard Boucher walks in, finds Raymond. He hit the post. He gets it back. He scores with 7.2. I wish we were only down by a goal, because that would have been insane. And what the hell happened to that guy's arm? What the hell? Oh my goodness. What the shit am I watching? That was a weird glitch. I don't know what the heck happened. Nice goal there by Raymond. Kind of cool to see Chucky score, at least in the final few seconds. But, oh man, if we didn't only allow that other goal. We do still have a chance to tie this game up, but we need to get it literally right into their zone right away and then clap a shot on goal, pretty much. And they win the draw, of course. Yep, we're still going to lose. Damn, man. So, unfortunately, we're knocked out in the second round, but at least we had a decent little run again. And at least we had the cup last year. But FBZ is going to have a good chance to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. So good on him. But is this the last time we see Alan Lehman playing in the NHL? Is it the last time? There he is. Speaking of which. And now, of course, the handshake line. Yeah, is that the last time we see Lehman? Probably is, my guess. Which is unfortunate. Okay, let's get through that because we don't need to see that anymore. Boom, and let me get my face back on the screen. Perfect. That sucks. That sucks. Let's take a look at see. Is Lehman out there for the last shift? I think he should be, right? No, he wasn't. I want to kind of see what Lehman looks like out here, so that way we can get a screenshot of him, because this probably is his last game, I guess. Is he out there right now? No, he is not. Chucky's goal was really nice, though. Like, the way this break-in happens, he got off the post right there, but he picks it right back up. The goalie sprawls down. He just stays patient and then shoots it right back on net. That was beautiful. But I do want to find Lehman. I think he was the one that drew the penalty, so he should be out there at some stage here, because we definitely need a screenshot of him for the series stuff, for like a wrap up if we end up doing that. Is he out here now? Probably not. Should be out here at some stage though. Oh, there he is. I just want to get a good screenshot of him while he's the captain, pretty much. There he is. Let's just get him where there's nobody else in front of him if possible. I don't know where I could get him. He does have a nice Sherwood wooden stick though, so he literally looks like he should be playing way back in the day, but let's get it like that, and let's move my face off the screen again, and we get a screenshot. Perfect. And there we go. He's the only one I'm going to get a screenshot of right now. Oh boy. Let's get out of this and find out if he actually retired or not. This is another long episode, but it is what it is. We have one more season left, one more off season as well. Damn. Let's take a look at those player stats though. Let's see who did what for us this playoff run. So, let's see, forward-wise. Actually, let's just go forwards in general. Hamalainen led with 14 points. Boucher on 13. Raymond on 12. So, yeah, that line did fantastic. They'll be together again next season, likely. Osmond's on 8. Yeah, we didn't really have the best depth scoring this year as well in the playoffs. That kind of hurt us. Like, we were heavily reliant on those top guys. From a defensive standpoint, Cardwell was fantastic, but everybody else was a little bit quiet. And then goaltending-wise, we had fantastic goaltending, but our offense wasn't consistent enough to make it actually mean anything. So there's that. There is that. Now the question is, who's going to win the Cup this year? We have Colorado, Vegas still available, and then the Rangers and Lightning. Are we going to lose to the best team in the league? Let's see if Tampa goes on to win the Stanley Cup with FPZ after they beat us in 7 games. And the answer is no. The Colorado Avalanche have won the Stanley Cup, and Bakersfield wins the AHL. So Colorado winning the Stanley Cup in 2047. They probably won a lot of cups early on in this franchise mode, and they win also here late as they beat the New York Rangers in 7 games. So we didn't even lose to the best Eastern team, but that's okay. Let's take a look at what those Colorado Avalanche and New York Rangers team looks like, just because I'm curious if there's any former players on there. So the Cup-winning Avs team, let's see what they had. LaBarbera, Talinder, don't recognize any of these guys so far. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these dudes. Oh! Oh my goodness. Jaden Hartnell, I forgot about him. I forgot we let him go, like, not that long ago. He's been in Colorado since he left Winnipeg, and before that he was with us. Oh my goodness. And he had 14 points in the playoffs. Shout out to Jaden. Jesus Christ, man. That would have been nice to have still on our roster. He's a pending free agent, which is kind of cool, but damn. So he wins the Stanley Cup. Shout out to him. Anybody else? No. So one former player on the Cup-winning team, which is cool. How about the New York Rangers? Did they have any former players? Not that I'm seeing so far. Yeah, nobody on the forward core defensively. Nobody that I've seen before. And goaltending-wise, Kirk Boss, though. Oh, yeah, we did play against Kirk Boss last year, actually. Yeah, when we knocked out Washington, Kirk Boss was on that team. So the year afterwards, Kirk Boss goes to New York Rangers and almost wins them a Stanley Cup. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. Oh, yeah, we need to take a look at awards, god damn it. let's see these awards here. So Colorado, the Stanley Cup champions, and it was Washington, the President's Trophy winners. Colorado and New York in the Cup Finals. Individual awards: Gamache to Art Ross, Gamache to Hart, Whitmore to Norris. I'm really surprised we knocked out Florida, just because of how good of all their players are. Whitmore's won 4 Norrises in the last 5 years, and in between there was Chance from Tampa Bay. Ahinen for Nashville, the Lady Bing. Eaterat did win the Calder, so shout out to Eaterat. We do have ourselves another Calder winner. That's our second in the last 5 years. As you can see, Ozen's also winning in 2043. Almquist for Colorado won the Conn Smythe. Visay the Vezina for the Edmonton Oilers. He also wins the Jennings. Him in Budens. No way. Budens is actually that good of a goaltender in Edmonton. He used to play for us too. Kolik the Masterton. Roosevelt the Jack Adams. Hillman the Selke. Gamache to Lindsay. And Gamache to Richard. So great year for Gamache. AHL wise, any awards for our AHL team? Probably not, since they didn't make the playoffs. No. Okay. Now we get into the point where we actually see if Lehman retired or not. If Lehman retired, then that means all Lehman, Ahinen, and Wilm would be retired at that stage. So is he the last of the 3 to retire? And New Jersey wins the draft lottery. Not going to focus too much on that because the draft is not going to really matter at all, since this is going to be the final draft of the series in next episode. But retire players. He did retire. Oh man, we got to go by each position first, but not a lot of centers retired this year. That's weird. That's the lowest amount of centers I think I've ever seen in a retirement class. All right, so there's that. But look at that, Alan Lehman, and look who's below him. Joel Weber as well retired in the same season. So Alan Lehman, another guy that could potentially make the Channel Hall of Fame, retires with 1 Stanley Cup, 1,662 points, 700 plus goals, 950 plus assists. Also in the playoffs, 147 points in 166 games. Damn, man. That sucks. Let's just get a screenshot of this part. I don't even care if my face is in the screenshot. Should I put my face on this screen? No, I'm going to remove my face from this, I think. Just so I can get actually some good screenshots for my roster stuff. There you go. So Alan Lehman, shout out to you, man. Thank you for being our captain the last 2 seasons. I don't know who's the next captain for this team going forward. Maybe it's going to be Cardwell, but damn. So the entire law line has retired. And then Joel Weber retiring in Boston is interesting. This guy was another fantastic player for this team. Played also great in Tampa, Toronto for a little bit, Washington, Winnipeg, and also in Boston. Damn, yeah, he was one of the better players I drafted. 7th round pick, and he had a great career. So shout out to Joel Weber with the 960 career points. Really damn good. Let me actually take a screenshot of that as well. I don't care if my face is in it. There you go. I had to just look at the camera for that. What else we got here? Any other interesting players that we forgot about? Nobody there on the left wing side other than them. Right wing, not a lot of retirements either. Not a lot of retirements in general this season, which is kind of surprising. Defensively, any former defenseman? Hey, look at that. Joseph Commodore has retired, so that's the longtime defensive partner of Whitmore. I do want to take a look at his defensive stats. He was a career plus 416. God damn. So you can tell how good Florida has been in the regular season in these this series. Damn, and probably only has 1 Stanley Cup to show for it. Any interesting former players? That's not our Cardwell, so that doesn't really matter. Mauricio Booz also retired. I was thinking he was going to maybe retire this year, but I didn't grab a screenshot of him. So we do lose our second Mauricio. Obviously, we still have Mauricio McKenzie, but Mauricio Booz has decided to hang them up. Plus 242, not even 200 career points, but he was a very good defenseman for a long time. Plus 30 in the playoffs as well, which is not an easy feat. So shout out to Mauricio Booz. Let's get a screenshot of him as well. Let me remove my face from this one though, just because he is a current roster player. Damn, man. Wow. Well, losing those 2 guys this year, That's definitely going to hurt us a bit going into next season. At least it's the final season next one, I'm pretty sure, so. And nobody else interesting. That's not our our former Ramo, but this guy's name is Ramo, which is hilarious. Best goalie retired. Oh my goodness, Sonnenberg. Holy crap, this is quite the class. Callie Sonnenberg. I gotta get a screenshot of that one as well. Even if it has my face in it. This one I don't really care about. But Sonnenberg, a fantastic former goalie. He definitely wasn't the best playoff goalie, but he definitely had a pretty damn good career for like the Dallas Stars, especially in his last few years. And in playoff wise, you could see with us, he had some good playoffs, but he mostly struggled. Then with Dallas, he was actually really good in the playoffs for a couple of straight years. One year he actually won the Stanley Cup and had 5 shutouts, so he was damn solid that season. Any other former goalies retired for us? I don't think so. I do remember Rick Curry from somewhere, but I think it was a different team. But a lot of former players retiring, and some, well, actually not a lot of former players, a couple of former players. Weber and Sonnenberg obviously were a part of the core at one point. And then Lehman and Lehman and Booze are really good. So that's quite the retirement class, which is interesting. Now we got to take a look and see if we lost any coaches, which we lost one in the AHL in Burnaby. Did we lose any NHL coaches? I don't think so. Oh no, we did lose one. It might be another goalie coach, so it's not the end of the world. We also did lose 2 more scouts, which is not ideal, but let's finally wrap up the rest of this season. Let's take a look at the draft class, the progress reports in the contract situation. So starting off with the contracts. Who is up for renewal this offseason? A lot of players. So we're going to have to still sign a lot of guys. The big one is obviously Reese Del Rivera, who has not been the same type of guy the last few seasons. He wants $11 million right now, which I don't know if he's going to get that. We also have Jacobson likely on RFA, at least him and Colborne. The other Boos will still get signed potentially. I think I should be able to bring most of these guys back, but obviously it depends on their asking price. And I don't even know how good we're going to be next season, considering we just lost Lehman. And in goalie-wise, the big one is Mauricio McKenzie, who's an RFA. We also do have McCammond, who could technically play in the NHL, but I don't think he will. He's also RFA at least. So there is that. In terms of the progress reports, let's take a look at that now. See if there's been any good growth. Not that it matters at this stage, but still. We are getting a lot of drop-off from Del Rivera and Hamalainen, as expected, because both of them are in their 30s at this point in time. Getting some good growth from Erat, which is nice to see. And also some growth from Tambellini. Tambellini might be able to jump to the NHL next season. He did play in the AHL this year, and he had 20 goals and 47 points, so pretty solid rookie year for Tambellini. He could potentially play in a 4th-line role if we really want to, or if we get stuck in a cap situation. In terms of in the system, Tham got some growth, which is nice. Not really anything on the defensive side of things, because most of these guys have no potential whatsoever. We got some growth from the other Boos, Desmond Boos. Low lead, 68 at 22, though, is not great. He's kind of growing a little bit slower than I'd like. Brodin's also getting growth. So we are getting growth from some of the guys in the system, but a lot of them are not going to get a chance to play before the series ends, unfortunately. In our final thing, the draft class. Let's take a look at this just for fun. Just to see if there's any pretty interesting steals out there. Because obviously we're not drafting till late. And it's not going to really matter at this stage because none of these guys are going to get the play. But still, I want to just take a look and see if there's anything we could potentially pick up here. Does not look like it right now. Obviously, our scouts aren't going to be doing the best of jobs, though, because we do have a lot of them retiring. There is this lowly DFD, so he would probably be somebody I would take just for the future of this team. Is there any other low leads, though, other than that one guy? There is maybe some good goalie prospects in McMuffin, and also Marion Hossa, the goaltender. Really? What the heck? Okay, I gotta remove my face from this one and get a screenshot of that just so I could put that on like the EA NHL Reddit. It's hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay. So there's that. Let's see what else we have here. Timofey. Okay. Any other low leads for later rounds that we could just take just to kind of set this team up for future success? Not really. This guy might be a power forward that's low lead, but it's hard to tell. I'll pin him in case. There is also this gem, so that's probably a low lead, but he also could be a low 4, so maybe not. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will have it, our final off season of the series. We'll basically try and maintain our roster as much as possible. We will probably not be as good next year just because of some drop off from some guys and also losing Layman to retirement. But should be an interesting last season. And then obviously, once the playoffs and stuff like that are all done, we're going to do like a recap type of thing, or we kind of look over like the record book and all that type of thing to kind of just get a good idea of what our players did in this series. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.